Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Gaming, and a new video on the channel going over my switch to Slayer. It's not something I wanted to do this early, I'm just fed up with Adrenaline as a buff, so I want to switch to Slayer just so that's one less button that I have to press. The champion version is performing well. What I'm looking to do is just transition in exactly the same gear I've got, skill set up the same way, and I think with the extra points we now have, it should feel good on a Slayer. The reason I didn't want to league start Slayer is because it takes a lot of points to get feeling good. There's so many nodes you need to take on the tree to get the build singing and dancing, whether you're going to claw crit version or just this simple version that I'm running, which is why I started champion, because I think it leveled slightly better and felt tanky from the off. So first things first, if you want to switch from champ to Slayer, you need to respec all of your passive points in your ascendancy. Like so. And then you need to run normal lab or any lab. And then when you get to the font with it empty, you can change it. So we're going to go to Slayer. Next, Ascend. We're going to go Bane of Legends. Headsman. Forgot what that was called. Masterful Form. And then Brutal Fervor. This now gives us Overleach. Gives us maximum endurance charges based on our frenzy charges. A little bit defenses and some attack speed. So we're done with here. So there is quite a few points we need to switch because we're no longer always fortified. So we need to find a way to get fortified into the build. The gem isn't really an option because it only gives you buffs for melee. So it's basically losing a link in our projectiles. So we're going to have to path on the tree to get that. So you can get fortified and hit on your chest, but I want to make sure I'm getting fortified as soon as I hit an enemy. Because if I'm destroying enemies in one hit, I might not get fortified and then I'm not got onslaught from perseverance. We lose loads of benefits obviously from fortification in general. So I'm just going to stick with the same setup that I've got for now. So I'm going to switch on exactly the same gear. The only difference I'm going to do is I'm going to get a different cluster jewel in. The reason being is the ones that give you attack leech and mana leech become a lot better because we're always leeching. So we're going to get all the benefits from like attack speed while you're leeching, damage while you're leeching and things like that. So we're going to try and find a cluster jewel first off. And then we'll go and do the respec and we will switch. We'll leave this one on. It's fine. This one's okay for now. I'm not paying that for one of those cluster jewels. I'll figure out how to craft them later. So we've got lots of respecing to do. In fact, we're going to have to do this a very specific way because I think I'm going to run out of attributes when I do this, but we'll see. Nope, we're not. Okay. So we're going across here. Is the first one. Then we're going to remove all of these. And then take this mastery to get fortification. Start pathing down here. Put our jewel in. He says. We don't need these anymore because we get 20% coal. So they would go up there. I think we're dropping all of the Ellie nodes because we're going to get chance to shock from Smite. So we'll take that down as well. Take this extra leech. And then where else did I not go? I cannot remember. I think we dropped these as well, actually. Then we should have a point left somewhere, which will be this increase aura effect. And then I think that's it. So I think it's going to feel a little bit slow. We can obviously drop this because I don't need this anymore. So with flasks up, let's have a look. No, it feels fine. Okay, so life has obviously gone down. I think our mana is going to struggle a little bit. So we may want a lower level precision because I shouldn't need that high anymore. Now 4,500 we definitely don't. So my precision is level 9. Let's see what else we've got. See if we've got a lower one. Level 2. That'll do for starters and then we'll see what that looks like. That's actually enough. So I think that should be the build setup. Obviously, we only get endurance charges when we get hit because we've got enduring composure because I don't want to faff around with war cries. I didn't want to get rid of one button, which is adrenaline, to get another button in, which is war cries. So let's go and give this build a quick test run. So I'm just doing a destructive play, kind of trying to get as much gold as I can to finish off my town. We can't do destructive on that, so we'll just put Syrian Exile influence in just for the showcase. I'm just going to put Burning Ground on in case the stupid more. Actually, with Overleach, probably don't need it, do we? Let's go back. Don't think we're going to need that with Overleach, so we'll put on Can't Be Blinded because we're still Precise Technique. And then I need to remember I don't need to worry about Adrenaline. Yes, feels fine. Still going to use Smite because it's just a massive buff. Even without Champion's 30%, it's still big damage. Because I looked at some of the claw builds and I couldn't really find one that I think looked good enough for me to switch with the currency I've got. So we'll just kind of stick with this for now. We can obviously probably upgrade the swords. We just need to find some mana reservation on gear. But for now, this works fine, and it does what I want to do, which is going to be get enough gold that I can get my town upgraded. It is sweltering in the UK at the moment. Not a day you want to be sitting here making a video, but... And the last one was hiding from me. So as soon as I get used to not pressing my buttons for Adrenaline, it definitely feels a lot smoother. But like I say, Champion for me was a much easier league start because it gets right out of the box decent defenses, and Slayer really doesn't until you get your endurance charges into play. Single target definitely seems worse. What are the mods? Oh no, more Monster Life and Enfeebled doesn't feel worse. Okay, that was just an unfortunate selection of mods. Yeah, so that's the switch. I don't know what I want to do with this build yet, which is why I just thought, do you know what? The build will work on Slayer. Now I've got better gear and I've got more points. It's obviously not optimal, but the DPS is still pretty good. But very quickly, we'll just go through the gear because I've made lots of upgrades. So I've got my chest 6 links. I ended up just buying an Omen of Fusing to get it linked. It could definitely be better roll, but I'm a bit low on essences. So we've got Determination effect, Non-Curse Aura effect. Strength, I didn't need. I don't know if I do now. I don't need the strength at all. And then we got Resistances and Life. The helmet, as it was before. Mana cost of attacks, attack damage. And then, yeah, Resistances and Life. The boots, I'm still just running these because I'm not ailment immune yet. I think what I'm going to do is probably stay on swords, stay on Precise Technique, but go one sword and a shield. Get ailment immunity on the shield, get the life nodes with ailment immunity, and then I can craft some boots to get the rest, so I don't have to worry about using a dual slot for Ancestral Vision. The gloves are the same as before, attack speed, lightning exposure on hit. The rings are as per before as well, big lightning damage, life resistances, intelligence, lightning damage, life resistances, still running the perseverance. And then obviously we've got our Voices of the Storm amulet. And then my flasks I still have been slightly negligent on, but they're fine. Reduced effect to shock, evasion, armor, reduced curse effect, and then a corrupted blood flask. I did pick up a lethal pride. It's not amazing, but it's got lots of extra strength on it, which at the time I needed. And then I rolled strength on my body armor. So really, it doesn't give very much. I think it has one lot of double damage somewhere. I think it's here. Yeah, so it's got 5% double damage, not a lot else, but it gives us a lot of strength. The cluster jewel, you ideally want the one I went through, which is Fuel the Fight, Feed the Fury, and Martial Prowess. And then you don't take the back node. And then I think you get Fuel the Fight and Martial Prowess, which are really nice nodes. It frees up these two, which you could take, to be fair, because it's still extra points. Got our Enduring Composure cluster jewel. Coming down here to get all the charge goodness. And then increase damage per charge. Now, obviously, if I didn't want the immune to chill, I could just get some Dark Ray Vectors to get another +1 Frenzy. The reason I don't like them is how slow you feel everywhere else, because you don't have any movement speed when you don't have charges. It just annoys me a little bit. But they're very good boots for like what's going to be a chaos. So Dark Ray Vectors could definitely go in here to give you +1 Frenzy, which then gives you +1 Endurance charge. There may be a better way to take the tree, like maybe you come out here to pick up Frenzy, Life, and Leech this way. But I kind of wanted everything I've got, which is why I've just stayed on the Leech nodes here. You could give up these, because they're only in play when you get Onslaught, but they give you a ton of defenses, which I think is quite important. So just for transparency, I have actually made one more upgrade since I recorded the last bit of the video, which is my gloves. They were a lower base because you can get better access to bases now, and I didn't actually need the accuracy. I'm just about capped because we lost quite a bit of life swapping to Slayer. So I've gone for life, attack speed, double resistances. The lightning damage to attacks is nice, but it's not something you need. This just rolled when I used essences. And then I've changed my implicits to +1 strike so that we get 2, and then pierce additional targets, so we now have 4 pierce. That should make the build feel a lot better when clearing. And that's the only upgrade I've made. I don't really plan on making any changes until I really need to start tackling difficult content, because all I want to do is upgrade King's March 100%, which I'll bring a video out on as well. And this build absolutely does it. So this will be the POV in the video description, along with the one I had when I switched from Slayer. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Take care and see you in the next one.